Sooners. Okay. I was just checking to see if you were listening.
From Destrehan, Louisiana. Hold on a second.
Hey, guys! Hey! I'm having a press conference, okay? Thank you.
Momentum, excitement, energy. They say all this stuff, and you know what they mean, but it doesn't describe what you mean. It's just sort of out there.
You got barbecue back there, and you didn't invite me. Hurt my feelings.
I was just worried about, listening to, all your guys' rap poison.
Welcome to Sideline Judgment. Here are your hosts, Sergio and Tyler.
Welcome to Sideline Judgment. My name is Sergio, and unfortunately, Tyler will not be joining me this evening. He is currently in a hotel somewhere in Southern California working on Redacted. I want to say it's Redacted 4? Redacted 5? I don't know. He's getting up there in the Redacted. So, instead, I had Tyler fill out on our Google Doc exactly what he would want to say about our 5 wide games, and he just happened to be that way. Went first on 2 point. So he just went ahead and put his 2 point game in, and I will be adding my commentary to the rest of the games. So, short episode today, but hey, we wanted to put out some content. I, of course, want to remind you to please send your email to sidelinejudgment@gmail.com. That is judgment with an E, in order to be put on the Sideline Judgment newsletter. That comes out every Friday, and it includes all of my gambling picks, including the napkin, the only place you can see my college football picks for the week. And it also has other fun college football information. Now, with that being said, let's go into the Gator game this week. The number 20 ranked Florida Gators take on Vanderbilt at home. It's a noon game on SEC Network. And everything I'm going to say this episode from Tyler's perspective is verbatim. This is what Tyler put. Tyler has nothing to say about this, LOL. I understand it. Listen, we talked at length about the Gators last week and what happened against Kentucky, and Dan Mullen needed to be accountable and the mistakes he made, blah, 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 blah. Just get back on track. That's all we ask for. Get back on track. Do what you've been doing, offense and stuff. And Mullen, just get back on track. That's all I got to say. Let us go to the 5 wide games this week. We begin with Red River. That's right, Oklahoma. Number 6 ranked Oklahoma Sooners are taking on the number 21 ranked Texas Longhorns. That game is going to be played in the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Texas. It is a noon kickoff on ABC. I'm not going to lie to you. This will be on the main TV, and the Gator game will be on the iPad, secondary screen. Sorry, love you Gators, but this is a massive game. Tyler says about this game, quote, not super confident in this one, only because Bijan Robinson exists. I'm reading this in real time, guys. But going with Oklahoma to start putting it together. I think I agree with Tyler. I'm also going to go with Oklahoma here. And I've said it the past couple of weeks where Oklahoma's dealing with replacing a very, very, very strong offensive line from, I think, last year and the year before. And we're seeing Kyler Murray, good Lord. We're seeing Spencer Rattler, really starting to have to adapt to not playing behind an incredible offensive line that Oklahoma used to have. Can this team get better? Hopefully. I think they can. I just, by default, can't in good faith pick Texas because my brother would disown me. So I'm going to go with Oklahoma. I think the matchup to watch here is Oklahoma's offensive line going up against Texas's defensive line. This is a wild and crazy game to begin with. Last year, I think it was like 4 overtimes that they went to. So expect a fun game. This is, to me, the game of the day, the most exciting game. And this is where game day is going to be as well. So noon kickoff, 11 a.m. local time, and 9 a.m. Yikes for Tyler out there on the West Coast. So we both have the Oklahoma Sooners. Next up, we have an SEC matchup. Same time, noon Eastern. This one's on ESPN. And it is the number 13th ranked Arkansas Razorbacks taking on the number 17th ranked Ole Miss Rebels. Tyler says about this game, quote, of the 2 beatings these teams took, Ole Miss has more positives in theirs, so I'll trust Matt Corral and Lane Kiffin to bounce back and throw all over Arkansas. There's a reason why Tyler and I are best friends. And one of those reasons is that we think very similarly when it comes to college football. We are almost professional football watchers. So I'm also going to go with Ole Miss. I liked Arkansas. I've been talking about them a lot. But this to me is basically who is the second best team in the SEC West. That's what this game comes down to. And I think that I would trust Matt Corral over KJ Jefferson. And no disrespect to KJ Jefferson, he's a good quarterback. But I think Lane Kiffin, coming off what happened, and Tyler says it all the time, you can't let Alabama beat you twice. I think Lane Kiffin has coached his team well enough. He's made light of his whole popcorn situation. He's giving out popcorn to the first 5,000 fans at Ole Miss's game. I think that it's going to be a good showing for Ole Miss. I trust Matt Corral. I will also be taking Ole Miss. Next up, we have the number 2 ranked Georgia Bulldogs taking on the number 18th ranked Auburn Tigers. That is a 3:30 kickoff on CBS. It is the game of the week. Tyler says, quote, "I do not trust Bo Nix to beat this Georgia defense," end quote. Couldn't have said it better myself, Tyler. Could not have said it better myself. This Georgia defense is incredible. It might be the best defense we've seen since 2011 Alabama. And it might be on par with 0-1 Miami. That might be blasphemous for some people to hear. We know we have to let the season play out. That Miami team was stacked. As I say, I think the best team in college football history. This is a good defense, man. When you have Will Muschamp as your quote-unquote special teams coach, when he's really just a defensive analyst, it's going to do well. One thing that Kirby Smart hasn't been able to do has been develop talent, the high-level talent, the 5 stars that he constantly gets into those NFL caliber players. That's what Alabama's been able to do. That's what Clemson's been able to do. That's what these other top-tier schools have been able to do. Ohio State. Georgia hasn't been able to do that. And I think that's been one of the reasons why they haven't really broken and won the national championship or the SEC championship that they want. So I think with Muschamp there helping the defensive side of the ball, he will help alleviate that kind of pressure on Kirby. And I think that they're working much better. I think that's one of the reasons why Georgia's so good. So good Bo Nix or bad Bo Nix? Yeah, it's going to be a bad Bo Nix kind of day. So I expect this game to be over quite quickly. So I will also be taking the Georgia Bulldogs. It's nice to see Tyler's thinking with his head today. Maybe it's because I'm not on the call with him today. Could be. Next up, we have the number 4 ranked Penn State Nittany Lions taking on the number 3 ranked Iowa Hawkeyes. Woo, top 5 matchup in Iowa. It's a 4 o'clock kickoff Eastern on Fox, Big Fox. Tyler says, quote, "I still don't trust Sean Clifford to throw on an excellent defense. This one is going to be ugly, folks." Yeah, I agree. Sean Clifford is one of those players that he can make some really nice plays sometimes, but to be honest, it's more like, oh my gosh, wow, did you see Sean Clifford make that throw? Who would have thought? Rather than, yeah, Sean Clifford makes those throws. So I agree. I like the Iowa defense more. The Penn State defense is actually pretty good and not to be messed with. Hit the under, hit the under, hit the under. It's free advice for you that will also be on the napkin on the Sideline Judgment newsletter, so stay tuned for that. Yeah, I also like Iowa. The defense is good. This is not going to be the prettiest of football games, but it will be an effective one. Wow, look at us on par the first 4. And the final pick 'em 5 wide, the LSU Tigers taking on the number 16th ranked Kentucky Wildcats, 7:30 Eastern on SEC Network at the grocery store. Okay. Tyler says of this game, after a historic and emotional Kentucky win and a historic and emotional LSU loss, the pendulum of competence seems to swing towards an LSU win this week. So he's going with LSU. While I understand and respect that opinion, Tyler, I'm going to go with the other side of the coin. I'm going to take Kentucky. I don't like what I've seen out of LSU this season. And it sucks because they're a really talented team. And I like Coach O as a person. Or, well, I should rephrase that after some reports over the past couple of years. I think Coach O... I have nothing against Coach O personally. That's what I should say. There we go. I have nothing against Coach O personally. But I just don't think he's holding it together properly. And I don't think he should be fired this season. I think he should be giving at least another year to work it out. We all know how our friends down in Baton Rouge like to overreact on things. So for that reason, I don't think it's going to be working out very well. And listen, we've had the LSU conversation on this podcast over the past couple of weeks. We've run through the schedule. We've played the game, all that stuff. I'd rather take Kentucky. Mark Stoops going hot. They could be 6-0 this week, guys. Probably ranked in the top 12 after this victory, to be honest. Some teams are going to fall. It is what it is. I'll take Kentucky, man. I like Mark Stoops. And this may be a personal Gators pick because the better Kentucky does, the better our loss looks. So I'm hoping that comes into play later on. 2-point conversions. Tyler picked first, obviously. He is taking Oregon State over Washington State. And his reasoning is Jonathan Smith over Nick Rolovich, and you can take that to the bank. Tyler, I'm with you, my friend. I am with you on that one. Jonathan Smith coming off of a win against UCLA. Playing really good football, coming off another win against Washington. I'm excited for him, man. I'm excited. My 2-point, let's see, as I peruse the schedule, some interesting games. Okay, we got Boise State taking on BYU. We have... Oh, he took Oregon State, Washington State. Boo. That game is a 4 o'clock kickoff Eastern on the Pac-12 network, by the way, for those of you who know that exists. We got Michigan, Nebraska this week. We got Notre Dame, Virginia Tech. Bama, Texas A&M, Utah, USC, a nice West Coast game. UCLA, Arizona for the Pac-12 After Dark crowd. Virginia, Louisville looks interesting. I'm going to go to the Big 12. I'm going to stay in the Big 12 because the game of the week is Red River. I'm going to stay in the Big 12, and I'm going to take the Baylor Bears to beat West Virginia at home. It's a 12 o'clock noon kickoff on FS1. I like Baylor. I think Baylor has been kind of overlooked lately. We don't really talk about Baylor either. We talked about them a couple times here, but not so much. So I'm going to take Baylor over West Virginia. Country roads, take me home. You know it. I know it. It is what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to apologize to you because I have buried the lead here for the Sideline Judgment podcast. We have the Sickos game of the century, not just the year, not just the decade, of the century. We have UMass taking on UConn at 3:30 p.m. and we can't even find the channel. It's like, seriously, we don't know where it's going to be. I looked it up. Tickets are going for $20 for this game in Massachusetts. These two teams are the worst football teams in college football. It's incredible. It's insane. UConn, their coach, said he was going to resign at the end of the season. Ended up getting ousted right away. UMass, just a hot mess. We're not picking this game. Tyler put it on the rundown as no picks, just vibes. Completely agree. Just have to let you know that was the situation, okay? The score today, I have 24 points. Tyler has 18. So maybe we picked the same on 4 of the 5 games. So he would need LSU to win, Oregon State to win, and West Virginia to win to gain 3 points on me. That's what he can do this week. So I wish you nothing but the best in your endeavors, Tyler, but I also hope that you miserably fail and that Kentucky wins and that Washington State wins and that Baylor wins. That's going to be it for this episode. Short episode, just kind of some comments on the games, giving you our picks. We'll be back next week with our review, a normal episode. Yes, we will be together again. It will be more than just, these 12, 13 minutes that I have given you this week. But yeah, Tyler's out there working hard on Redacted 4, 5, 6, whatever it is. And I am here in South Florida, recording in my bedroom, making some picks. So keep an eye out. Don't forget the napkin every single Friday. It's on the Sideline Judgment newsletter, sidelinejudgment@gmail.com. Send an email there. I will put you on the mailing list. It's the exclusive home of the napkin, so you can make yourself some money. With all that being said, for my best friend, my co-host and co-founder of Sideline Judgment, Tyler K. Williams, my name is Sergio, and we are not biased, but go Gators.